What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about Canadian news because, as an American, I never get to hear about Canadian news here in the United States from any of our news or media outlets. So today, I want to take some time to learn about the current news and events happening in Canada right now that I otherwise would never hear about. So let's take a look, starting with this huge news that I had no idea about. This is a week old news, and I just saw that Canada Post has gone on strike. I don't know, I haven't done a Canadian news video in a while. I think 2 or 3 weeks ago I did one, and there were talks about a Canadian Post strike. And lo and behold, today I look at it again, and it's been on strike for like a week. This is huge news, and just proof that Canadian news is really not talked about here in America, because this is huge, huge. The ramifications of this, I can't even imagine. And yet I had no idea about this. It's been over a week, apparently. They've gone on strike. Negotiations are underway. I mean, what does this mean for Canada? They went on strike early Friday. That was, last Friday, after failing to reach an agreement shutting down the corporation's mail service across the country. Okay, so the first question I have is, how big is, what's it called? Canada Post. Canada Post. In America, we have the United States Postal Service, which is like the de facto biggest mail service in America. Is Canada Post comparable to that? Is this the biggest mail provider in Canada? It has Canada in the name. That's got to mean something. Does everybody use this? Is mail, let me get this straight. Is mail not going out to all of Canadians? Is that possible? You gotta be in my situation here. I can't even imagine that being possible. The ramifications of that are unthinkable. If the mail isn't going out to the country, is this really happening? They went on strike, shutting down mail service across the country. I can't believe this, honestly. Approximately 55,000 workers in urban, rural, and suburban mail carrier bargaining units are off the job. No way. Canada Post had the opportunity to prevent this strike, but it refused to negotiate real solutions to the issues postal workers face. Yeah, how did this happen? I know I read a little bit about this a few weeks ago, but what is Canada Post demanding? What are the workers wanting? Why couldn't a negotiation be reached? Because this is huge. This is unthinkable. The union said, instead, Canada Post left us no choice when it threatened to change our working conditions and leave our members exposed to layoffs. According to Canada Post, they had no choice. Wow, there's more articles on this I want to look at. What you need to know about your mail during the Canada Post strike. This is all. Again, this is all new to me. I guess Canadians, you've been living this for the past week. I'm sorry. Passports are going to be delayed with mail workers up. Passports are going to be delayed. That's pretty important stuff, but Canada Post stopped delivering mail across the country because of postal workers on strike over wages, working conditions, and other issues. This shutdown will affect millions of Canadians and businesses nationwide. Exactly. I mean, if mail and packages aren't getting delivered, that is so disruptive to, it's like the Canadian economy. Your, bills, important messages, Not to mention businesses trying to do normal business operations. You need mail. I mean, luckily, it is 2024. We do have email, but we still very much live in a world where physical mail is extremely important. Luckily, there's the internet, and maybe Canadians are kind of making this work. But for normal people, you get a lot of mail delivered to your house at your mailbox, and that's a lot of stuff. Usually, this is just I just can't believe this. I just can't believe this. If this happened in America, it would be outrageous. So am I getting the magnitude of this correct? Is this as crazy as it sounds? What does this mean for deliveries? Canada Post isn't processing or delivering any mail or any parcels as long as the strike lasts. There's been no mail for over a week in Canada. I can't believe this isn't bigger news in the United States, honestly. Some post office will be closed. For items in the mail already, services could be affected. It may take some time for mail to return to normal, even after the strike ends. Right, there's piles of mail. There's probably mountains of mail at the post office. You could jump into, you go sledding on these mountains of mail piling up in the post office that aren't getting delivered. Can I drop letters or parcels in the mail? No. Canada Post isn't accepting new items. Really? Well, is this like maybe the people of Canada can do a counter protest where it's like, we're gonna give you our mail whether you like it or not, and you just put so much mail, throw it in their front door, stuff it in the post boxes till it's coming out their ears. Not that I want to paint the Canada Post workers as evil or anything. This is, normal rights, or at least in America, the right to protest, go on strike, sounds the same in Canada. And that's a valuable right that workers do need to be able to do, go on strike. It's just unfortunate. Like, in America, we had the dock workers strike, which terrified us, shutting down docks and dock workers. That happened in America for like a day or two, and it was unthinkable. But it is their right to try to fight for better pay, better working conditions, whatever it might be. I don't necessarily claim to understand who's on the right side of this, or if there is a right side of this argument. But yeah, it's unfortunate for the postal workers, and it's unfortunate for the people of Canada. And I hope negotiations can get solved here. I'm waiting for a passport. Will it come? No? I mean, it sounds like that's delayed. Here they are, protesting. Got their signs. Yeah. Holy cow. Okay. I don't want this to take up the entire video today of Canadian news, but that's a big one. That's some of the biggest news I think I've heard in it. For a lot of the news videos I've done on this channel, that's some of the biggest news I've ever seen. So, yeah. If you're a Canadian and you're being affected by the Canada Post strike, feel free to leave a comment and give your experience, your opinion on that. That'd be awesome to hear about. Get a little more clarification on what this means for Canada, and if this is going to come to a conclusion anytime soon. Holy cow. What do we have here? It says Trudeau government to announce GST vacation on certain items before Christmas. What is a GST vacation? Can GST, never heard of that before. It's planning to send $250 checks to Canadians. Oh, like a stimulus checks, like we had in America during the pandemic. Is Canada in such dire straits that you need checks mailed to you and whatever, a GST vacation? Are y'all going on vacation? What does this mean? 2-month GST vacation on certain items. This must have something to do with tax, like general sales tax. You're eliminating tax on certain items. Oh my God, to me, this just sounds like I didn't really understand the situation Canada is in. If you're sending out money in the mail to families and discounting items, the government has to step in and take away tax on certain items. This is dire. It's a multi billion dollar package designed to provide relief to families hit by rising prices. We're experiencing inflation, rising prices here in America, but it's nothing like this where there's relief packages being mailed out to people. I didn't know about any of this. Is this as bad as it sounds? How how are you going to get your check in the mail if the Canada Post is on strike? You can't. How are you even supposed to survive in this scenario? You can't, you can't get your stimulus money check in the mail because the mail's on strike, but you can't buy your groceries because your check didn't come in the mail. Whew. It's just, am I exaggerating here, or is this as bad as it sounds? Frankly, suspending tax on diapers, children's clothing, shoes, car seats, toys. So a lot of children's items. That's really sad to hear about. And I hope the families who need this aid are able to get it. That's sad to hear about. We got a Winnipeg crazy most elaborate scam. You know, it's kind of fun reading about scam. It's not scams are not fun or to be taken lightly, but it's kind of fun to read about scams and how elaborate they are. Woman was told she had to make a deposit at a store with a Bitcoin kiosk or her power would be cut. Oh my god. It's so crazy in this day and age. You have to question everything. If someone calls you or emails you about a missed payment, we live in a day and age where you have to wonder, are they telling the truth or is this a scam? It's an intricate scam, excuse me. She almost fell for. This is in Winnipeg. People pretending to be Manitoba Hydro tried to make her make a deposit at a Bitcoin machine. That alone should raise some red flags, right? By using a lot of personal information and theatrics to make everything seem realistic. Yeah, they'll know her name, your address, act like they know you, say I'm just a tech. Huh. Wow. Yeah, watch out for those scams, I swear. Let's scroll down here. What else is going on in Canada? Trump has nominated a former Michigan Congressman, Pete Hoekstra, to be the ambassador to Canada. We have an ambassador to Canada. Of course we do. I never really think about that in the last, I don't know, in my whole lifetime. Now that I think about it, I don't know if I've ever known who the American ambassador to Canada is. But we have one, and Trump is nominating a Michigan congressman, former congressman. Is there anything significant about this? He's tapped Pete Hoekstra. He was in our House of Representatives. He will represent our country with Canada. Is that all? It's just, okay. It didn't really tell me too much good or bad about this choice. I don't know. I hope. Obviously, the U.S.'s relationship with Canada is an extraordinarily important relationship that we have. So, choosing our ambassador to Canada, pretty darn important. What else here? Burned forests in Jasper National Park show signs of life. Oh, this is something that's been recurring in some of the Canadian news videos I've done, is the Jasper National Park situation. Huge fire earlier this year. Sounds like it's slowly getting better, showing signs of life. Yeah, Jasper. People are starting to be able to move back into the area, live their life. The winter's coming. Do forest fires go down in the winter at all? You would just think, common sense, it's cold, it's wet, you wouldn't get as much forest fires. I hope that's the case. Oh, what else here? Mounties have announced one of the largest drug busts in Surrey RCMP history. What? What is Surrey? Seizures have included significant amounts of cocaine, MDMA, meth, fentanyl, pills. This is a drug bust by where? Surrey. I don't know where Surrey is. Is that a place? It's a year-long investigation, and it has resulted in one of the largest seizures of drugs in the RCMP agency's history. Really? Oh my God. Guns, ammo, body armor, cars also seized. No way. Here's a photo. Well, I'm glad they got the bust accomplished. Unfortunate that that's even a thing in Canada. What else here? Oh, there's highways reopening, schools closed after two-system storm hits Saskatoon. Like snow? Oh my. You're already getting snowstorms in Canada? Man, I guess we've been lucky here in the United States, at least a lot of us. It's been pretty warm up until, honestly, this week. This week is the first week that I've had to get out my long pants and, God forbid, a coat. I have to get out a coat. Like, what is this? Meanwhile, people in Saskatoon can't even drive anywhere, and schools are closed. It's a big difference. The province is digging out from a two-system storm, 30 centimeters of snow. Wow. Canada gets winter this early and this hard already. I did not know that. Stabbing of a 16-year-old to death at a subway station? TTC? What does that mean? Jordan O'Brien Tobin pled guilty to second-degree murder. The 16-year-old Gabriel, stabbed at a Toronto subway station? Stabbed to death in a subway station? That's crazy. That's so sad. Wow. I feel bad for the family and for, of course, this young man, 16 years old, stabbed to death. Life is not fair, that's for sure. Anything else real quick before we kind of wrap this up? Insurance, stolen vehicles. Oh, God. Any big stories? A 2-year-old gorilla died after a door activated. Oh, my God. No, that's not what I needed to read today. Alleged potato cartel accused of conspiring to raise the price of frozen fries and tater tots in the United States. What? Why isn't this front page news? This affects me. My tater tots. Canada, you can't be raising the price of our fries. No. 4 companies dominating a multi-billion-dollar market in the United States are accused of sharing detailed insider information with each other, making a conspiracy to raise the price of their goods. And it's about potatoes. Fries and tater tots? Now this got personal. I didn't know anything about this. I have not noticed the price of tater tots, frozen tater tots rising, but apparently that's a conspiracy. Oh my God. Anything else real quick? I'm scrolling down here. See if there's anything earlier in the week that I already missed. I already missed the big story, the Canada Post strike. I think that was the big one that I needed to get up to date on, frankly. Human smugglers. Prince Harry played volleyball. Okay. Canadians feeling anxious about immigration. Anything else? Cyclone in British Columbia. Okay. Nothing crazy going on from what I can see. All right, well, I think with that, this Canadian speed skater earned 5 medals. Very good. I think with that, that's a good place to stop. We've been looking for a while now. Yeah, the big article news for today was the Canadian Post strike. That's unbelievable. So I'm really glad I took some time today to get up to date and learn about Canadian news. So anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on any of this Canadian news here today or any news I may have missed that I should know about. That'd be great to hear about. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Canada, learning about Canadian culture, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching and see you next time.